in this first ball game of the season for the Eagles. Thomas, a senior at New Diana. Takes a deep breath. Short practice swing. Steps in. First pitch from Rudder bounces about 2 feet in front of the plate. Taken for ball one, 1-0. Pretty big field here at West High School. 320 down the lines, 380 to dead-away center field with about a 20-foot high fence. The 1-0. That's a line shot. Out to center field. Center fielder giving chase, going to fall right in front of him. It's going to be a leadoff single for Hayden Thomas. So with the leadoff man on, that's going to bring up number 4, Logan Simmons. Simmons, also a senior. Steps in, long look here. Quick glance over to first base. Not much of a lead by Thomas. There he goes, gets a jumping lead, jumps back. Looks like a changeup taken on the inner half for strike one, 0-1. Simmons holds his hand for time, steps back in. The 0-1's fouled back. It's going to be 0-2. Eagles are in their gold uniforms today, white pants, navy socks with the gold stripes. Gold uniforms have Eagles written across the front in navy blue trimmed in white. Let's get a little pause in the action as Coach Martinez runs some baseballs out to the home plate umpire. Simmons makes a couple of uniform adjustments, steps back in. 0-2's your count, nobody out. Hayden Thomas led off the Eagles season with a single to center field. Takes off for second. It's going to be a changeup taken high. No throw as Thomas glides into second base with a stolen base. 1-2's your count on Simmons. Now has Thomas in scoring position with Newland on deck. Pitcher looks at second, kicks and fires. It's going to be a ground ball back up the middle. It's going to be a tough play to catch the speedy Simmons. Ball's going to get away from the first baseman. Thomas rounds third, is going to slide in safely. Early in the season, we're going to give Simmons a hit on that. Was going to be a tough play. Probably would have beat it out anyway. The error on the actually on the shortstop on the throw is going to allow Thomas to score the first run of this young season for the Eagles. Now we've got senior East Texas Baptist University commit Jacob Newland steps in. Pitcher's ready to throw. So Newland steps back out. Newland back in now. Toes a couple of inches from the inside portion of the batter's box. Pitch taken inside, ball one. Newland back in the box. One practice swing. Bats up. Pitcher comes set. Simmons bounces, going to have a throw over. Logan's back in time. Looks like the wind has adjusted maybe just a little bit. It's kind of swirling. Blowing from center field to right field and then swirling back toward the press box as Newland takes low for ball two. 2-0 count now. Nobody out. Eagles lead Rudder 1-0 after a leadoff hit by Hayden Thomas. Stole second base and had an infield single followed by an error that allowed Thomas to score his first run of the season. Runner takes off. Newland takes a strike low. Simmons in there in plenty of time. Second stolen base of the inning for the Eagles. Now Newland has a man in scoring position with a 2-1 count. Pitcher set. Checks Simmons at second, kicks, and fires. It's going to be a changeup, flies in there just under the elbows, taken for strike 2. It's going to even it up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Newland chokes up on the bat a little bit here with 2 strikes. Steps back in. The 2-2. Taken high, ball 3. Real close pitch there. Right at the letters. That's going to fill it up, 3-2. Nobody out, top of the first. Eagles lead 1-0. Simmons hopping back, big lead. Looks like we got a little bit of confusion. Newland was about to step out, and the pitcher stopped. I don't think the umpire granted him time, but they're not going to call a balk there. So we're just going to have a no pitch, redo it. 3-2, nobody out. Simmons takes his lead away from second. Going to have a pickoff attempt. Simmons takes off for third. Ball's going to be in the dirt, but snagged by the third baseman for the first out of the inning, as Simmons is caught stealing on the pickoff. So now with 1 out, count will remain 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on now. Newland taps the back corner of the plate with the head of his bat. He's ready for the pitch. It's going to be a fly ball down the left field lines, hooking foul. Fading, rather. Ball faded foul. So we'll redo it again. As I mentioned earlier, Eagles will play back-to-back doubleheader today. They'll square off against West after this ball game against Rudder. The 3-2. It's going to hit Newland on the elbow. Let's send him down to first base with a hit by pitch. It's going to bring number 11 junior Austin Kearns to the plate. We're going to have number 8 Landon Hawley come in and pinch run for Newland, who is doing the catching duties today. Landon is a sophomore in the sophomore class here for the Eagles. First pitch, Hawley takes off for second, throws going down, not quite in time. Was a close play, a little slow on the throw there from the catcher. Hawley's able to slide in. Third stolen base of the inning for the Eagles. Quick break in the action as the second baseman had to adjust his socks. Rudder is in completely black uniforms, have something written across the chest. I can't quite make it out. They have a black pants with a white stripe down the side. As Kearns takes at the knee for strike 1, 0-1. Rudder has black caps with a classic Old English R in green on their hats. Pitch swung on, fouled straight back, 0-2 now on Kearns. Got number 2, Elliott Foreman, on deck for the Eagles. Hitting in the 5th spot. As Kearns steps back in. The pitch. It's going to hit Kearns in the back. That's going to give the Eagles runners on first and second now. Second consecutive hit by pitch. And it'll bring up number 2, Elliott Foreman. Foreman is one of 5 seniors on this Eagle squad. As the runners take their lead, Foreman steps in. Pitcher comes set. Foreman takes high for ball 1, 68 mile an hour. Call it a changeup. 1-0 is your count. 1 out, top of the first. Foreman fouls that. Over the fence there down the right field line. 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the first. Eagles lead 1-0. Already plated 1 run this inning. Holly takes his lead away from second. Kearns away from first. It's going to be the 3rd consecutive hit by pitch as Foreman takes a changeup in the back. And the Eagles have the bases loaded. We'll have a visit from the Rudder coach. As number 10, junior Cole Sherman will be the next to hit. West has a turf field. Has a logo similar to Texas Tech, except they're TW. They are the West Trojans. But an all-turf field, infield and outfield. No real dirt. Beautiful complex here. It's the softball field is directly behind us. And we're going to have the umpire walk out to the mound as he feels like the Rudder coach is taking long enough as the coach departs the mound and makes his slow walk back to the dugout. And we'll have number 10, Cole Sherman, step in. He'll bat here in the top of the first with the bases loaded. Got number 3, Peyton Brewer, on deck. All the Eagles have been from the right side so far. As Sherman steps in. Long look in here by the pitcher. Number 3 kicks, fires. Sherman takes a fastball at the belt. 1-0. Excuse me, 0-1. The 0-1. Sherman fouls that one back over the home dugout. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Defensively, West is playing even at the corners. Middle infield's back at double blade depth, and outfield is about average depth. The 0-2. It's in the dirt. It's going to get past the catcher. That's going to allow Holly to come in and score easily for the second run of the ball game as Kearns moves up to third and Foreman moves to second. Holly was in the ball game running for Newland after he was hit by a pitch. The 1-2. It's going to be hit back to the pitcher, fielded nicely, thrown over to first base for the second out of the inning as the runners will keep their place. We go down 1-3 in your playbook. And that'll bring up senior Peyton Brewer. First pitch to Brewer. It's in the dirt. Rolls away from the catcher. Kearns is coming home. Pitcher covers late. Kearns slides in safe. It's run number 3 for the Eagles here in the first inning. As Foreman moves up to third now. Looks like we got number 6, Blake Wadon, on deck. Wadon's rumored to be our starter today for the Eagles. Brewer takes high. It's going to be ball 2, 2-0 now. This pitcher for Rudder's not exceptionally dominating on the mound here. As Brewer takes a little below the knee there for strike 1. 2-1. Still in a positive count. Runner on third, 2 outs. Eagles lead 3-0. As Brewer cuts and misses strike 2. That'll even it up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Brewer takes high for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the first. The Rudder pitcher delivers. Ball fouled down the right field line, out of play. We'll set up and do it again. The 3-2. It's floated up there for ball 4. As Brewer slings his bat back to the on-deck circle, trots down to first base. Eagles will have runners at the corners. It's number 6, Blake Wadon, steps in. Be the 8th hitter for the Eagles this inning. Got number 18, freshman Levi Green, awaits his turn on deck. As Wadon steps in. Quick practice swing. Pitcher comes set. Kicks and fires, taken at the knee for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Eagles have runners at the corners. Already lead Rudder 3-0. The 0-1 is going to be fouled right at the plate. Umpire calls it fair as Wadon doesn't take off. That's going to result in the 3rd out of the inning. But not before the Eagles score 3 runs on 2 hits, 3 hit by pitches, and 1 walk. We're going to go to the bottom of the first inning. Eagles 3, Rudder 0.
There are no words to describe it. The isolation, the boredom, the loneliness. If you're wondering where your teenage son or daughter's spirit went, you're hardly alone. The past year has been devastating, especially for them. But here's the good news. They might just find it again, playing high school sports. Workouts that stimulate, teammates and coaches that care, the sense of belonging so many of us have been missing lately. That's what school sports are all about. The sense of achievement is real, and the camaraderie is hard to beat. Coping with uncertainty is difficult, But school sports can help the teenagers in your family start feeling like themselves again. Encourage them to give it a try. High school sports, it's so much more than a game.
This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
It's been a trying year for parents. They've been confronted with countless challenges and have always risen to the occasion. If it isn't too much to ask, the 826,000 high school student athletes in Texas have one last request.
Please, set an example.
Disorderly fan conduct at high school athletic events is on the rise. It increasingly involves parents. There's no question that parents are passionate. There's no question they care about their children. But at a time when we're all wound a little more tightly than usual, it's worth remembering this about Texas high school sports. Always be a good example. Stop unruly fan behavior before it starts.
This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
We're back in West High School here in West Texas as number 6, Blake Wadon, is in fact on the mound to begin the Eagles' 2023 season. His battery mate behind the plate is number 5, Jacob Newland. Looking around the infield, we've got number 2, Elliott Foreman at first. Number 9, Hayden Thomas at second. Logan Simmons is in the hole at short. And on the hot corners, number 11, Austin Kearns. Outfield from left to right appears to be Levi Green out in left field with Cole Sherman in center and Peyton Brewer over in right. It's number 9, Cody Billings. We now have a roster for Rudder. Steps in. Wadon's first pitch. It's going to be a fastball cut on and missed. Strike 1. Eagles were able to play 3 runs in the top of the first inning as Billings steps back in. And Wadon kicks and fires. Taking low, ball 1. That'll even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. Fastball is going to be a ground ball out to Hayden Thomas at second base. Fields it cleanly. Fires over to Foreman at first for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 2, Brady Bell. Wadon looks in. Pitches from the wind. First pitch to Bell is taken low for ball 1. 1-0. Wadon takes a deep breath on the hill. Kicks, fire. It's going to be a hard shot down the third baseline, but just foul. For strike 1. Eagles defense playing straight away. Nobody on here in the bottom of the first. 1 out. Wadon's pitch to Bell bounces just a few feet in front of the plate for ball 2. Shortstop for Rudder here is a tall kid, probably close to 6'2", maybe about 185. Wadon's 2-1s, a breaking ball drops in there. It's going to even the count 2-2. As Wadon shakes Newland again. Takes a deep breath. And the pitch. It's going to be a foul ball over to the first base coach's box. This counter remained 2-2 here on Bell. 1 out, bottom of the first inning. New Diana is taking on Rudder here at West High School. Eagles put crooked number up in the top half of the inning, courtesy of a couple of hits. A few hit by pitches and a walk. 2-2 is going to be cut on. Fly ball out to Green in left field. Running in now, glances off his glove. Will be an error on the left fielder as Simmons recovers and fires the ball in. So that'll be the first base runner for Rudder. And it'll go down E7 in your playbooks. Not sure that Green picked that up off the bat. It was hit about 10 feet in front of him, and as he started to come in, it just glanced off his glove. So Bell takes his lead, and it brings up the center fielder, Austin Isom. Isom with a line shot out into right field. Brewer giving chase, going back. It's going to be over his head. Bounces all the way to the wall. Brewer fires it in. Ball comes into Newland at home, so that's going to keep a run from scoring. But here in the bottom of the first, Rudder has runners on second and third with 1 out. So that'll be a 1-out double for Austin Isom. That's going to bring up left fielder Tyler Triola. Triola, another tall right-handed batter. All the hitters have been from the right side as Triola calls time. Wadonna once again pitched from the windup. First pitch misses off the inside corner, ball 1. One ball, no strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. The Wadon pitch is going to be fouled straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wadon is a junior at New Diana High School. The wind just continues to blow here in from center field. The 1-1 floats in there a little bit high. Ball 2. 2-1 now. Wadon kicks and fires. It's going to be a ground ball out to the shortstop, Logan Simmons. Simmons fields. It's going to be a low throw. Dug by Foreman for the out. It was a slow roller. Simmons had to hurry his throw and threw a 1-hopper over to Foreman. Will be an RBI ground out for Tyler Triola as Rudder has put their first run on the board now. It's 3-1 Eagles. Wadon's first pitch to number 13, Austin Waskow. It's taken for a ball. 1-0. As Wadon looks in for the sign. Now will come from the stretch. Comes set. The 1-0. Cut on and missed. Even it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a runner on third. Center fielder Austin Isom takes his lead away from third. The 1-1 misses off the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the first, Eagles lead 3-1. Rudder still threatening with the runner on third. As Wadon's 2-1 pitch It's high, 3-1. Ball was right about the letters. Newland relays the sign. Wadon shakes the first sign, comes set. The 3-1. Fastball at the knees. Strike two. It's going to be a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. The Eagle defense continues to play straight away. Pitch misses off the outside corner. It's going to be a 2-out walk issued there by Wadon. Rudder will have runners at the corners as Newland steps out in front of the plate and relays his first and third signs to his teammates. It's going to bring to the plate the catcher, number 1, Will Hurd. Hurd's another tall young man, 6 foot plus as he steps in. Wadon slide steps, fires a strike in there. Tipped and gloved by Newland. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. 2 outs as Rudder bats here in the bottom of the first. Trail New Diana 3-1. Change up from Wadon. It's high, taken 1-1. It's going to be the 23rd pitch of the inning for Wadon. The 1-1. Fastball is going to be hit out into the gap. That's going to plate at least 1, maybe 2. Runners round in third. Throw comes in. Foreman cuts it off. It's going to be a 2-out double for Will Hurd, as that pushes Isom into score, and the Eagles' lead is cut to 3-2. As Weskow moves down to third base. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Xavier Ramirez. Wears number 10 for Rudder. Takes an off-speed pitch there, low for ball 1. Bats here with 2 men on, second and third. Bottom of the first, Eagles lead 3-2. As Ramirez had stepped in, then steps back out. Wadon once again from the windup now. Takes a deep breath. Steps. Fires. Fastball's going to be late on that. Fouled around the first base dugout. That'll even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. Fastball in the dirt. Good block there by Newland. It's going to keep Weskow over at third. 2-1's your count. As Ramirez steps back in, drags the bat head across the plate. There's a gentle rocking motion from the right-hander. The 2-1's going to be hit over Foreman's head out into right field. Brewer snags it, fires into Newland. 1 runs across, but it's going to hold Hurd at third. As Rudder has tied it up here with the third hit of the inning for them. And that'll bring the 8th hitter of the inning to the plate. The pitcher, number 3, Austin Carpio. Carpio needed 33 pitches to get through that first inning. As the Eagles have runners at the corners, Newland steps out once again, relays his signs to the infield. Carpio stands about 5'8", maybe 150 pounds. Wadon checks Ramirez at first. Slide step, It's going to be a fly ball out to Brewer in right field. Brewer sets underneath it and makes the grab for the final out of the inning, but not before Rudder ties the ball game. 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error. Moving to the top of the second, your score, New Diana 3, Rudder 3.
Are you worried how 2020 has impacted your teen's social development? We are too. Want to know what might help? Participating in the performing arts in high school. It's been hard being a teenager recently. Hard to cope, hard to keep up, hard not to feel like you're missing out. Everything's different and nobody knows what's next. Encouraging your son or daughter to participate in performing arts can really help. Those are high school activities like band, orchestra, choir, theater, speech, and debate. They'll make new friends, develop confidence, and feel the satisfaction of being part of a team. Participation in the performing arts aren't a cure-all, and they certainly won't make the pandemic go away. But they will make the teenagers in your family feel like they're part of something special. This message presented by the NFHS and the Texas University Interscholastic League.
We've moved to the top of the second inning here at West High School. Apologies for the delays between innings. We're taking 3 or 4 minutes here between innings as the umpires are in absolutely no hurry to speed this game along. And that's going to bring the freshman, number 18, Levi Green, to the plate. Green will bat from the left side against the new right-handed hurler from Rudder, number 12, Keaton Weiser. As Green takes outside, ball 1. Ball game's all tied at 3. Eagles put 3 across on 2 hits in the first, as well as Rudder did, except they had 3 hits. Green's going to foul that one straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Another foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes now as Green leads off the Eagles here in the top of the second. Schweitzer looks in, comes set, kicks, fires. Going to be a line shot out into center field. It's going to fall for a leadoff single for Levi Green. As he rounds first base, trots back to the bag. It's going to take us back to the top of the order. Second baseman Hayden Thomas. Thomas is 1 for 1. Had a single to lead off the ball game and also scored a run, stole a base. Green takes his lead away from first. Thomas steps in. Couple of short practice swings, pulls the bat back. Weiser comes set. Green takes a big secondary, but doesn't go anywhere as Thomas takes high for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Green takes off. Had the bunt on as Thomas fouls it back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Green led off the Eagles here in the top of the second with a single. As Thomas takes a deep breath, umpire holds his hand up for time. Points at Weiser. Kicks, fires. Big cut's going to be fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. The Eagles will take on the West Trojans after this game. And then all the game times for Friday and Saturday are depending on today's pool play results. Thomas is going to foul that. Weiser offering back. Count will remain 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Eagles are in Pool B here today against Rudder, West, and New Diana. That ball's going to be hit out into right field. It's going to drop in front of the right fielder as Green's going to round second. Think about third, but not advance. So with 2 on, nobody out. First 2 men on for the Eagles. It's going to bring up the shortstop, Logan Simmons. Apologize for that, folks. Lost connection somehow, but we are back live now. Simmons is still at the plate. He's fouled off a couple of pitches. 0-2 is your count. As Green takes his lead away from second, takes off for third. Simmons hacks at it, fouls it back. So Green will retreat back to second base. Just Green was on the move there. Thomas stayed put at first. His Eagles had the first 2 men on here in the top of the second inning. The 0-2. Cut on and missed. Another foul ball there by Simmons. Count will remain 0-2. Nobody out here in the top of the second. The 0-2. Misses low and inside. First ball of the at-bat. Takes the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's actually 62 degrees here with the wind chill. Wind is blowing from the north at 17 miles an hour. Second baseman crashes in, now retreats back to his position. As Weiser spins, and nobody's there to throw the ball to. One ball, 2 strikes. Long look in by Weiser. Now comes set. Steps off the back of the rubber. And we'll come back set. Weiser gives his nod of approval on the pitch selection. Fires another foul ball. That one came in at a blistery 66 miles an hour. It's going to be the 17th pitch of the inning for Weiser. He's yet to get an out here as the first 2 Eagles are on with singles. The 1-2. Fastball is going to be hit and fouled back. Good at bat here by Simmons. It's got to be on his 8th or 9th pitch at this point. The 1-2. It's going to be a fastball high, cut on and missed by Simmons. Will go down for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the backstop, number 5, Jacob Newland. Newland was hit by a pitch. Had courtesy runner Landon Holly run for him, and Holly stole a base and scored a run. Newland steps in here with 1 out, top of the 2nd inning. Eagles all tied with Rudder 3-3. Newland with a line shot out to second base. Hard shot. It's going to be knocked down by the second baseman, but dribbles past him. That'll go down as an E4, as second baseman had plenty of time to get over there. Ball was hit hard, but young man tried to backhand it and glanced off his glove. But more importantly, that will load the bases for the Eagles as Green moves down to third base. Thomas to second. Looks like Newland's going to run for himself at first. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Austin Kearns. Kearns was also hit by a pitch and scored a run in the first. Bats here with the bases loaded. First pitch, fastball cut on and missed. Strike 1. 0-1's your count. Looks like Weiser had a little extra on that one. Got it up to 72 miles an hour. The 0-1. Cut on and missed again. 0-2 now on Kearns. The 0-2. Fastball misses away. Weiser still ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Eagles' third baseman. Weiser comes set. Kearns takes high. Ball 2, it's going to even it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases are full of Eagles. Kearns looking to do some damage here. Fouls that 63-mile-an-hour fastball back to the screen. Stay alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Weiser peers in. Signs relayed from the catcher. Kicks, fires. It's going to be a line shot out to center field. Center fielder backs up, makes the grab. Green tags and will score from third. Thomas also tags and moves from second to third. Good base running there by the Eagles. Good job by Kearns to put that ball in play. Go down as a sacrifice. RBI. And with 2 outs in the inning, it's going to bring up the first baseman, Elliott Foreman. As the Eagles now lead 4-3 here in the top of the second. As the Rudder backstop steps out in front of the plate, relays his signs to the defense. Now we're going to have a pinch runner for Newland. Looks like Holly will come back into the game here with 2 outs. As Foreman holds the barrel of his bat up, takes a deep breath and steps in. 2 outs. Eagles have runners on the corners. Lead Rudder 4-3. Holly takes off. Ball's high. Catcher thinks about throwing it, but does not. Have 2 runners in scoring position now for Foreman. 1-0's your count. Schweitzer comes set. Delivers the pitch. It's going to graze Foreman's shoulder to load him back up. It's the second time that Foreman's been hit by a pitch. First inning, he was hit by a pitch and left stranded at third base. Now with the bases loaded, it's going to bring up the Eagles center fielder, number 10, junior Cole Sherman. Sherman grounded out to the pitcher his last time. Thomas is on third, Holly at second, Foreman at first. First pitch is in the dirt. Ball 1. Sherman bats here with 2 outs. Top of the second inning. Eagles have scratched across 1 here, threatening to do more damage. 1-0 is high. 2-0. The 2-0. It's going to be a fastball to knees, fouled back over the first base dugout. Sherman still ahead in the count here, 2 balls and a strike. As he looks down at Coach Bernie Martinez. Coach Martinez with some words of encouragement. Sherman steps back in. Sherman right on the chalk on the inside of the plate. The 2-1. Fastball popped up. It's going to be out of play. Bring the count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's again 2 outs here at the top of the second. Weiser gets his sign. The right-handed hurler comes set. Steps, fires. It's going to be a ground ball over to third base. Third baseman's going to grab it and step on the bag for the final out of the inning. But not before the Eagles do take the lead on 1 run, 2 hits, and a sacrifice fly by Austin Kearns. Moving to the bottom of the second, your score, New Diana 4, Rudder 3. We're back quickly this time. Bottom of the second inning. The first hitter up is going to be the pitcher, Weiser. Lines the ball out into right field off Wadon for a leadoff single. Brewer tries to cut him down at first, but throws wildly as Newland backs up the throw. That's going to take us back to the top of the lineup with second baseman Cody Billings. Umpire says play ball. Swadon will come from the stretch. Courtesy runner takes his lead from first. Billings squares. Half-heartedly fouls the ball back to the backstop. No balls, one strike. Wadon comes set. The 0-1. Squares again. Ball's going to be bunted, fielded by Wadon. Fires to Foreman at first. Billings gets down the sacrifice bunt to move the courtesy runner over to second base. Within in scoring position, it's going to bring up number 6, Brady Bell. Number 2, Brady Bell. Bell is the shortstop for Rudder. First pitch from Wadon. It's going to be grounded foul down the third base side. No balls and a strike. No balls, one strike, one out. As Rudder bats here in the bottom of the second inning, trail the Eagles 4-3. Wadon fires low, blocked by Newland. Ball trickles harmlessly out into the front of home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. As Rudder's mascot are the Rangers. The 1-1. Curveball in there for a strike. Wadon now ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's the Ranger shortstop steps back in. Wadon peers in from the sign from Newland. Checks the runner at second. Steps off the back of the mound. We'll do it again. Eagles are the same defensively. As Foreman plays just in front of the grass at first. Kearns is just about even with the bag at third. Middle infield's typical depth. 1-2. Slow is going to be golfed down to Kearns at third base, but foul. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Wadon's pitch, cut on, miss. It's going to be a curveball. It's going to be in the dirt. Newland jumps out from behind the plate, fires the ball down to Foreman to complete the strikeout of Bell. So with 2 outs, it's going to bring up the center fielder, Austin Isom. Isom had a double and scored a run his first at bat last inning. This runner takes the lead away from second. On from the stretch. Fastball is going to glance off Newland's glove. That'll be the first pass ball of the 2023 season as the ball trickles back to the screen and allowing the courtesy runner to move down to third. 1 ball, no strikes. This ball's hammered, but foul. Down the third baseline by about 5 or 6 feet. Good contact there by Isom. That was a line shot. Would have went to the wall had it been fair. But as it is, count stands 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on third. Eagles lead 4-3. Rangers threatening here to tie it back up. It's going to be a curveball blocked in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike now. Badon with a couple of shakes to Newland. Has the sign he wants. Fires the ball, bounces before the plate. It's going to go all the way to the screen, and the Rangers will tie it up. Looks like Wadon just maybe overthrew a little bit there. Ball bounced about 6 or 7 feet in front of the plate and went clear to the screen. As we once again have a tie ball game, 4-4. 3-1 is your count on the Rangers center fielder, as he'll now bat here with nobody out. 2 outs, nobody on. And Wadon from the stretch. Fastball's going to be fouled out of play. It's going to fill it up, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wadon looking to make a pitch here to get the Eagles back into the dugout and hitting in the top of the third. The pitch. Fastball is going to miss off the outside corner. That'll send Isom down to first base with a 2-out walk. It's Wadon's second free pass of the ball game. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, first baseman Tyler Traola. Traola grounded out to Simmons his first time. Bats here with a runner on first. As Isom takes his lead away from first now. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Traola checks his swing, but it's called strike by the umpire. Wadon ahead in the count, no balls and a strike. The 0-1, runner takes off, throws low. Newland blocks it. Not going to be able to make a throw there, as it'll be the first stolen base for the Rangers. And the count's even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not a lot Newland could do there with it other than just keep it under control. Goes back to the screen, and it would allow the runner a chance to make it all the way to third. So the 1-1. It's going to be a ground ball fielded by Kearns. Fires across the diamond to Foreman for the 3rd out of the inning. The Rangers have tied it up here, moving to the top of the 3rd. Your score, New Diana 4. Rudder 4. We're in the top of the third inning here at West High School. Scores all tied at 4 as both teams pushed across 3 runs in the first and 1 run in the second. The Eagles are going to be led off by their right fielder, number 3, Peyton Brewer. Brewer just completed his basketball season on Tuesday night. The Eagles' basketball season came to an end. The first playoff appearance in 14 years. As Brewer swings the first pitch, grounds it foul past the third base back. 0-1. Weiser delivers the 0-1. It's going to be a line shot out into left field. Left fielder sets up underneath it, makes the grab for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up number 6, Blake Wadon. Wadon grounded out to the catcher his last time to end the Eagles' threat in the top of the first. Bats here with nobody on, 1 out, top of the third. Ball's going to be drilled right back up the middle. It's going to be a fall for an Eagle base hit. It's going to be the 5th hit of the day for the Eagles. We're going to have number 1, Trent Pepper, come in and run for Wadon. And the left fielder, Levi Green, steps in. Green's 1 for 1. Singled to lead off the top of the second. It also scored what was the go-ahead run in the top of the second. Takes a fastball in the outside corner, strike 1. No balls and a strike, 1 out. As Green takes a big cut at that. He's going to foul the ball over the third base dugout. 0-2. Green looks down at his signs from Coach Martinez. Steps into the box. Pepper takes his lead away from first. Weiser looks over, comes set. Another foul. That one glances off the batting cages here at West High School behind the third base dugout. Counter remain, no balls, 2 strikes. Green steps back in. Little bat twirl. The 0-2. It's in the dirt. It's going to go all the way to the backstop. Catcher's not real sure where it is. Pepper with a big turn around second. It's going to hold up as the Rudder catcher tracks it down. So with 1 out here in the top of the third, Green has a man in scoring position. Behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Very long look in here by Weiser. Green takes a ball outside. It's going to even it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Weiser now set to deliver the 2-2. It's going to be Weiser spins and fires to second base, but nobody's covering. Unfortunately for the Eagles, he threw it hard enough that the center fielder was able to recover it before Pepper was able to get off the bag. So, as he had already retreated back to second. Pepper takes his lead. Weiser comes set. The 2-2. Fouled back to the screen. Green stays alive. Levi Green is the brother of former New Diana Eagle standout Austin Green, who is off to a blistering start after their first 4-game series in which the Texas Tech Red Raiders swept Gonzaga 4 straight. The 2-2. Taken outside, ball 3. It's going to fill it up, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, top of the 3rd. Austin Green plays second base. He's a starting second baseman and bats cleanup for the Raiders. Weisler comes set, ready to deliver the payoff pitch. Green calls time. Umpire grants it. Weisler shows a little frustration there. Thought that the umpire granted time, maybe a little bit late. Takes a deep breath and looks in for the sign. Weisler's pants are rippling in this 20-mile-an-hour wind. Shortstops come over to cover. Weisler steps off the back of the rubber. Pepper retreats and will do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Green steps back in the box. Weisler kicks, fires. Taken outside, ball 4. So after starting Green 0-2, Weisler walks him on 4 straight pitches. That's going to bring number 9, the second baseman, Hayden Thomas, to the plate. Thomas is 2 for 2 today with 2 singles, 1 to center, 1 to right. Bat here with runners on first and second. 1 out, top of the 3rd. Eagles have had at least 2 men on base every inning thus far. Thomas with a deep breath. Couple of half swings. Now has the bat up. First pitch, fouled back, 0-1. Good quick cut there by Thomas. As we mentioned before, Thomas is one of 5 seniors on this Eagle baseball team. The 0-1. Weisler spins, throws the ball to the shortstop, actually. Pepper takes off for third. No throw as Pepper steals the bag on the pickoff attempt, allowing the Eagles to now have runners at the corners. It's Pepper's courtesy running for Blake Wadon, who led the Eagles off. Apologies, Blake Wadon was the second hitter. He had a 1-out single in this top of the 3rd inning. The 0-1 to Thomas. It's going to be hit out into right field. Right fielder moves back. It's going to be over his head. Green had to hold up at first because it looked like he was going to catch it. Thomas may be caught up, but the first baseman's not in position, so Thomas is able to retreat back. Pepper will score easily from third to give the Eagles a 5-4 lead as Green moves to second base. The ball was hit, was fading toward the line as the right fielder moved over to catch it. He's a lefty out in right field and couldn't quite catch it over his shoulder, and it bounced harmlessly onto the turf. That's going to bring up the Eagles shortstop, number 4, Logan Simmons, to bat with runners on first and second. As that is Thomas's 3rd single for the day. RBI single there with 1 out. So now the first baseman plays in, maybe expecting the bunt. Simmons takes inside for ball 1. 1-0. So we're going to have a visit from the Rudder Ranger dugout here as the coach makes the slow walk out. Looks like we might have a pitching change. We're going to take a quick break as we assess the situation. no pitching change. It was just a coincidence. There were a couple players coming in from the fence where they were throwing their bullpen, but no change. Eagles have runners on first and second. In the top of the third as Simmons steps back in. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Thomas on first. Green's at second. Green bounces back and forth. Weiser fires. Simmons is going to foul it over the first base dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Definitely going to have to find a jacket for the second game this afternoon. The 1-1. It's going to be a floater in there about neck high. Simmons takes it for ball 2. 2-1 now. We mentioned earlier that Rudder, West, and New Diana are in the B pool, as that ball's going to be grounded weakly over to shortstop. Shortstop charges, fires over to first. Simmons is safe with another infield single, his second of the day. And for the third consecutive inning, the Eagles have the bases loaded. Green at third, Thomas at second, Simmons at first. We'll have yet another visit from the Rudder head coach. Weiser meets him about halfway, gives him the ball, and retreats to the dugout. So during this pitching change, we will take a break and be right back with you. We're in the top of the third. Eagles lead 5-4. Number 17 for the Rudder Rangers is completing his warm-up tosses here as we've had a pitching change in the top of the third inning. Eagles have the bases loaded. Have already put across 1 this inning. Lead the Rangers 5-4. Give you a little recap here. The pitcher, Blake Wadon, led us off, had a 1-out single as the second hitter of the inning. It was courtesy run for number 1, Trent Pepper. That was followed with a walk and a really great at-bat by Levi Green. Hayden Thomas plated Pepper with a 1-out RBI single for his third hit of the day, and Simmons just had an infield single to the shortstop. Now Newland, the ETBU commit, steps in. We'll get the name of the pitcher here in just a second for you. First pitch. His fastball is going to miss. 1-0. Trey Gonzalez is on the mound for the Rangers. The 1-0, Newland with a big hack fouls it straight back. It's going to even it up, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike as Newland adjusts the top of his helmet and steps back in. As Gonzalez took a break. Now we're back at it. Newland back in the box. Bases loaded. 1 out. It's going to be a ball hit out into right field. Right fielder charging is going to make the play. Green's going to be able to tag from third base and score as Newland's going to have an RBI sacrifice fly there. Thomas tags and gets to third base as Simmons is going to be forced to stay at first. So the Eagles have tacked on another one here. That was a line drive. It was just dying, and the right fielder came in and made a backhanded shoe top catch. Had a chance to get Simmons at first, but he spiked the ball into the ground as he was trying to throw it as he was running in. So now the Eagles' third baseman, Austin Kearns, will step in with runners at the corners. Takes ball 1 outside, 1-0. Kearns had a sacrifice flies, RBI sacrifice fly his last at bat and was hit by a pitch his first and scored a run. The 1-0 low, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the third. The Eagles lead the Rangers 6-4. Simmons takes off. Ball high, catcher catches it, acts like he's going to throw, but does not. Doesn't seem like he could get the ball out of his glove there, but it'll be the 4th stolen base for the Eagles. 5th, sorry. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. As Kearns takes ball 4. So with 2 outs, it's going to bring up the Big Eagle first baseman, Elliott Foreman. Foreman has been plunked by a couple of 60-mile-an-hour fastballs in the back, so hopefully Gonzalez will be able to give him one across the plate here, and Foreman knows what to do with it. First pitch, taken high above the letters for ball 1. 1-0. Got Thomas on third. Simmons takes his lead away from second. Kearns at first as Foreman takes outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Misses ball 3. That's going to be the 7th consecutive ball thrown by Gonzalez. Foreman's in a take situation here, 3-0. Takes a fastball right down the middle. 3-1 now. Well ahead in the count here. Gonzalez kicks, fires. Ball's drilled right back up the middle. That's going to score 2 as Thomas comes in. Simmons is rounded third coming in. Kearns alertly first to third. Great base run in there by the Eagle third baseman as Elliott Foreman has a 2-out, 2 RBI single. That'll bring to the plate number 10, Cole Sherman. Good piece of hitting there by Foreman. Got a fastball right at the belt and absolutely smashed it back up the middle. Gonzalez's first pitch misses outside for ball 1 as Sherman represents the 9th Eagle hitter to come to the plate this inning. Gonzalez misses with that 1-0 pitch. Now 2-0. 2-0, 2 outs. Eagles have plated 4 this inning, currently lead the Rangers 8-4. Gonzalez fires. Check swing by Sherman, called a strike at the knees. 2-1. Sherman stares at the barrel of his bat. Cuts and misses at a fastball. 2-2. Gonzalez comes set. Sherman steps in. Gonzalez working very quickly here. It's going to be a ground ball. Excuse me, it's going to be a pass ball. Goes all the way to the screen. Kearns is going to be hung up between third and home. The ball hit the backstop. We have a padded backstop here. Came directly back to the catcher. Kearns put the brakes on, tried to go back to third, but nothing doing. But the Eagles do put across another crooked number. Going to the bottom of the third, they lead the Rudder Rangers 8-4 as they plated 4 runs on 2 hits and a sacrifice fly. Picking up action here in the bottom of the third inning. New Diana leads Rudder 8-4 here in this season opener of the 2023 season. It's going to bring to the plate number 13, Austin Waskow, the right fielder for Rudder. Bat from the left side as Wadon comes out for his third inning of work, starts him with a ball. 1-0. 1-0 is going to be grounded foul into the first base dugout. 1-1 now. The 1-1. Going to be a ground ball. Fair ball. Fielded nicely by Foreman there to retire Waskow for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring the catcher, number 1, Will Hurd, to the plate. Hurd had a double and was left stranded at third his first time back in the first inning. Part of that 3-run first inning by the Rangers. 1 out, bottom 3. Wadon starts him with a fastball just above the belt, called a ball. Wadon from the wind. The 1-0. Misses low. 2-0 now. Wadon shakes Newland, takes a deep breath, steps, fires, fastball right down the middle. Take the count to 2-1 now. Hurd holds his hand up for time. And the pitch. Fouled back. Wadon evens the count now 2-2. That changeup's going to get away from Wadon there. Run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out is Herd bats here in the bottom of the third. Rangers trailing the Eagles 8-4. The 3-2. Fastball is going to be skied out just behind the bag at second base. Simmons moves over, makes the grab for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Xavier Ramirez, for the Rangers. Ramirez is 1 for 1 today. Singled back in the first. Cuts at that Wadon fastball, fouls it back to the screen. 0-1 now. Ramirez bats here with nobody on, 2 outs. The 0-1, taken high for ball 1. It'll even it up. Pitch. Curveball drops right in there for a strike. Good pitch by Wadon there. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Wadon nods for the signal. It's another curveball, but fouled back. Counter remain 1 ball, 2 strikes. Eagles are pretty much straight away defensively, except for Cole Sherman, who's playing on the second base side out in center field. The bag. That ball's going to be lined out into right field. It's going to fade foul. Newland gets a new ball from the umpire, fires it out to Wadon. And Ramirez retreats back to home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom 3. The pitch. Fastball skied. It's going to go out of play back behind the first base dugout. Newland gets some instructions from Coach Muller there. As Ramirez takes it with on fastball high. Bring the count even now. 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 2-2 misses off the inside corner. 3-2. Wadon takes his glove off, massages the baseball, and now toes the rubber once again. Looking to make a pitch here to get us out of the inning. Be the first 3-up, 3-down inning for the Eagles. It's going to be a ground ball out to Simmons at short. Fields it cleanly. Fires to Foreman over at first for the 3rd out. And the Rangers go 3-up, 3-down, as that is the Eagles' first clean inning of this young 2023 season. We're going to move to the top of the 4th inning. Your score, New Diana 8, Rudder 4. as now the Rudder Rangers are not taking too much time here between innings, down by 4. Eagles sent 9 men to the plate last inning. Cole Sherman was the 9th, but he'll get to lead off this inning as Austin Kearns was caught trying to steal home on a bad bounce on a pass ball. First pitch to Sherman, fouls it back over the first base dugout. 0-1. Sherman's 0 for 2 on the day. As he holds his hand up for time, steps in. Gonzalez is working very quickly. Sherman takes high for ball 1. 1-1. Gonzalez has a very quick, kind of herky-jerky wind up as he fires that one in low. Sherman now ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Holds his hand up for time once again. Not granted. Fastball is going to be fouled down the left side. Take the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Poked down the left field line, but foul. So we'll do it again. Sherman adjusts his batting gloves. Holds his hand up for time. Umpire grants it. And the pitch from Gonzalez. Taken high and away for ball 3. It's going to fill it up here. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the Eagles center fielder. The 3-2. Fastball misses off the inside corner. It's going to be ball 4. Very good at bat there by Sherman as the Eagles have their leadoff man on for the 3rd time in 4 innings. And that's going to bring up the right fielder, Peyton Brewer. Brewer's 0 for 1 on the day, walked his first at bat, flew out to left field his last. Bats here in the top of the 4th inning. New Diana leads Rudder 8-4. The umpire calls a no pitch here. Gives some instructions to Gonzalez there. As Brewer now steps back in, and the umpire takes his place back behind home plate. Gonzalez from the stretch. Big cut there by Brewer, fouls it back to the screen. 0-1. Sherman hops back and forth with his lead at first. Brewer takes high. 1 ball, 1 strike now to the big right-hander. Sherman takes off. Floater in there. The catcher fires it down to second base. Not able to be handled as Sherman is going to be safe with the stolen base. And Brewer's now heading the count 2 balls and 1 strike. It's a 6th stolen base for the Eagles. Sherman bounces. Brewer takes off the plate. Ball 3. Brewer well ahead in the count here. 3 balls, 1 strike. Gonzalez comes set. The 3-1. Going to be a fastball. Misses inside. So the Eagles will have the first 2 men on, courtesy of free passes from Gonzalez. That's going to bring up number 6, Blake Wadon. Wadon is the starting pitcher for the Eagles. Bat here with runners on first and second. Had a single his last at bat, 1 for 2 on the day. Takes low, ball 1. So Gonzalez struggling to find the strike zone here. The Eagles look to capitalize. That's going to glance off the catcher's glove, go all the way to the backstop on the third base side. Both runners will move up into scoring position, as Sherman is now at third and Brewer at second. We'll have yet another visit from the Rudder Ranger head coach. We're in the top of the fourth inning. The Eagles lead the Rudder Rangers 8-4. Eagles have nobody out. Runners on second and third, and Blake Wadon at the plate. 2-0 is the count on Wadon. As he steps in and Gonzalez comes set. Ball's going to be hit out into right field. Right fielder giving chase. It's going to be a base hit. It's going to get past him, go into foul territory. Brewer rounds third, headed home. It's going to be a 2 RBI double for Blake Wadon. As the Eagles now take a commanding 10-4 lead. Still nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Left fielder Levi Green steps in. Green takes inside for ball one. Green is 1 for 1 on the day. Scored 2 runs. Takes on the outside corner for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Looks like Wadon's going to run for himself out at second base. That ball's cut on. Fouled back into the catcher's mitt. 1-2 now. One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Green at the plate. Wadon on second. Eagles lead 10-4. Top of the fourth. 1-2 misses inside. Evening up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Changeup misses. Green runs another count full. As he holds his hand up for time as Gonzalez is working quickly. 3-2. It's going to be fouled back behind the third base dugout. The 3-2. Misses off the outside corner. Ball 4. As we've got another slow walkout, looks like we will have a pitching change this time for the Rudder Rangers. We'll be back after these messages. the top of the fourth inning, New Diana has already plated 2 more runs, lead the Rangers 10-4 as Hayden Thomas is going to step in. New pitcher for the Rangers, number 5, Caden Bailey. Eagles have runners on first and second. Ball's going to bounce, gets past the catcher, goes all the way to the backstop. It's going to allow Wadon to move up to third and Green to take second. As Thomas is 3 for 3 on the day. 3 singles and an RBI, 2 runs scored. Steps in here with a 1-0 count. That pitch is going to hit Thomas, so he'll be on base for the 4th consecutive time this game. And for the 4th consecutive inning, the Eagles have loaded the bases. Nobody out. It's going to bring up the shortstop, Logan Simmons. Simmons is 2 for 3 on the day, a couple of infield singles. Top of the 4th, 10-4, nobody out. Ball's going to be in the dirt. Good stop there by the catcher. 1-0. Simmons takes the changeup on the inside corner. Even it up 1-1. As Bailey pitches from the stretch. Misses with that ball off the inside half. 2-1. Two one's going to be dribbled, fielded by Bailey, comes home with it. Fires to Simmons at try to get him at first base for a double play. Not in time. So Simmons grounds 1-2 for the force to force Wadon out at home. Bases remain loaded, so with 1 out, that's going to bring up Jacob Newland. Newland is 0 for 1 on the day, had an RBI sacrifice flies last time. First ball swinging. It's going to be a slow or hard hit ground ball out to the shortstop. Shortstop feels it going to the third base side. It's going to force Thomas out at third. So Newland will reach first base on the fielder's choice. So after back-to-back fielder's choices, Green does score on the play. That's going to take the score to 11-4, and Holly will once again come out and run for Newland. And it'll bring up Austin Kearns. Kearns is 0 for 0 today. Doesn't have an official at bat because he's been hit by a pitch, sacrifice fly, as that ball's going to trickle away from the catcher and roll all the way to the backstop, allowing the runners to move up to second and third. Walked his last time, has scored a run. Bats here in the top of the 4th, 2 outs, 11-4 is your score. As Kearns steps in, counts 1-0. Takes high, fastball, 2-0. Kearns cuts and misses. 2 balls and a strike now. Two one catches the inside corner, taken for strike 2. It'll even it up, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Eagles have runners on second and third. Holly at second. Simmons at third. That ball's going to be hit past the diving shortstop. Simmons is going to score easily. Holly makes the turn. Ball is cut off and fired home, so that's going to be a 2-out, 2 RBI single for Austin Kearns. And the Eagles now lead 13-4. That'll bring up the The Big Eagles first baseman, Elliott Foreman. Foreman's 1 for 1. Been hit by a pitch a couple of times as he takes the ball down the middle for a strike. Had a 2 RBI single his last at bat. That ball's smashed out to the shortstop. Shortstop feels it, and then will force Kearns out at second. But not before the Eagles put across their biggest crooked number of the afternoon, plating 5 runs on 2 hits. 1 man left. Going to the bottom of the 4th, your score, New Diana 13, Rudder 4. So we're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Eagles lead the Rangers 13-4. We've got a new pitcher on the mound for New Diana. It's going to be number 14, Ivan Benoit. Benoit's a tall, left-handed young man. Leading off for Rudder is number 3, Austin Carpio. As he takes a Benoit strike at the knees. 0-1. Benoit misses just off the inside corner there. It's going to even it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Benoit kicks, fires high. 2-1. Two-one, cut on and missed. 2-2 now on Carpio. Carpio leads the Rudders off here in the bottom of the 4th, trailing New Diana 13-4. That Benoit fastball cut on and missed for strike 3. And Carpio goes down for the first out of the bottom of the 4th. It's going to bring up the pitcher, Caden Bailey. That Benoit fastball's looked at for strike 1, 0-1. Another fastball, but misses this time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bailey Weekly swings at that changeup there. Obviously fooled. Great pitch by Benoit. Ivan now ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kicks, fires. Swung on and missed for strike 3. That's 2 consecutive strikeouts now for Benoit. Take us back to the top of the lineup with second baseman Cody Billings. Billings is 0 for 1. Grounded out to Thomas at second and had a sacrifice bunt his last time. Benoit has his sign, kicks, misses. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs here, bottom 4. New Diana leads the Rudder Rangers 13-4 as Billings slaps that ball foul. 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Benoit deliveries, misses high. Benoit falls behind in the count here now. 2 balls, 1 strike to the Rudders' leadoff man. It's going to be ball 3 outside. Benoit looking to bear down here. Hopefully give the Eagles their second consecutive 3 up, 3 down. Kicks and fires. Fastball misses. Ball 4. So with 2 outs, the Rangers have runner on first. And they'll bring up their shortstop, Brady Bell. Bell is 1 for 2 on the day. Cuts and misses that Benoit fastball. 0-1. Bell was a Wadon strikeout victim back in the second inning as Benoit fires over to Foreman to keep Billings honest over there at first. Shouldn't be able to get too big of a jump here with Benoit being the lefty that he is. Bell golfs that ball over into foul territory, just bounces before Brewer's able to chase it down. So it'll be a long strike now. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Rangers trail the Eagles 13-4 in this 2023 season opener for your New Diana Eagles. The 0-2. It's going to be a ground ball out to Simmons at short. It's going to bounce off the heel of his glove. Not able to do anything with it, so that'll be an E6 on Simmons. As Billings reaches second base safely. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Austin Isom. It's the Eagles' second error today. Isom bats here with runners on first and second, 2 outs, bottom 4. That Benoit fastball is going to bounce all the way to the backstop and come right back to Newland. It was actually underneath Isom's feet there. Thought it might have clipped him in the shoe, but thankfully it did not. 1 ball, no strikes. This announcer is definitely going to have to find some warmer clothes between games. The 1-0. Going to be fouled over the first base dugout. Evens the count now, 1-1. Isom's 1 for 2 on the day. Had a double back in the first inning and scored a run. Also walked and stole a base his last time back in the second. As he bats here in the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Fouls that ball back to the same spot behind the dugout at first. 1-2 is now your count. The 1-2. Fastball fouled again. the exception of the walk, the 5-pitch walk to Billings, Benoit's had very good command of the strike zone. Delivers the 1-2. High, goes over Newland's head, goes back to the backstop, comes back to Newland. He fires down to third, but not quite in time. That would have been a spectacular play. The ball was about 8 feet, a couple of feet over Newland's head, 8 feet total. Bounced directly off the backstop. Newland was able to corral it and fire down to third, but not in time. So both runners will move up, second and third, in scoring position as the count's 2-2 on Isom. That ball's going to miss outside. It's going to run it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Rangers trying to load the bases here in the bottom of the fourth. Have 2 outs. The pitch from Benoit misses. Ball 4. It's Benoit's second walk of the inning. Benoit made the pitch to get out of it last inning with last batter with had a routine ground ball to Simmons, but Simmons not able to corral it for an E6. Allowed the Rangers to stay alive here. There's a fastball right down the middle taken by Tyler Triola for strike 1. Triola's 0 for 2, grounded out to Kearns and Simmons at third and short consecutively. The 0-1. Fastball misses. Good pitch there by Benoit. Triola didn't miss by much, but he did not offer at it. The 1-1. It's going to be a ground ball. Hit weakly over to Foreman at first. Foreman fields it. Tells Benoit, I got it. Steps on the bag for the third out of the inning. Go down as ground out to first base. And the Rangers are retired in the bottom of the fourth, and that will be your ball game as we're operating on a 2-hour time limit here. The Eagles are victorious against the Rudder Rangers and will start this 2023 season 1-0 as the teams come out to shake hands. We'll take a break for about 20 minutes or so, we're assuming, between games here. And then we'll be back live with another live stream. Once again, your New Diana Eagles have defeated the Rudder Rangers 13-4 in 4 innings.